Cinco de Mayo. Yeah. My shorty bad like Shakira.
Ooh.
I told her look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Don't need a license to carry. I do not let them sit near. She got a heart that's so pure.
Yeah.
Better hope nothing occur.
Nada.
Better hope nothing occur.
Hey, welcome everybody. This is our fourth episode of the NFL Flag Talk, and we talk about all the topics here regarding flag football. And tonight, this evening, this morning, whatever, our special guest is none other than Flag Football Life Tournament Director, Mike Reimel. So glad to have you here with us, Mike.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Great. We just wanted you to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and why Flag Football Life is one of the top organizations for tournaments.
Again, my name is Mike Reimel. I'm a director at Flag Football Life. I started Flag Football Life about 4 or 5 years ago. But prior to that, I was still helping run tournaments with my brother, Matt, for the last 15 or 16 years. I've been coaching since I was 19. We've been to multiple NFL Flag Nationals with our girls team as well as our boys team. And then once I stopped coaching, I started playing at a high competitive level, traveling the country, traveling the world, playing flag football. Got injured like everyone else when they get old. So then started running tournaments and trying to give the best product to the best sport in the world. So that's what we're doing now.
All right. So what made you want to become a tournament director?
So I've always loved being around kids. My mom owned a daycare, or she still does, growing up. So growing up, we all knew, our whole family, Matt, my sister, my brother, Jeff, we all knew we wanted to work with kids and we wanted to work with sports. So I'm currently a special ed teacher assistant in 8th grade. I've been doing it for 9 years. And then we are a sports family. So we just knew we were going to do something in sports. So we've always been around it. Matt, tournament guru, probably the best in the world at running tournaments and being organized and whatnot. So I literally followed him around for the last 15 years. And he got sick about 4 years ago in July. He had to have open heart surgery 2 weeks before one of our big events, our 100-plus team tournament. So that was kind of a light bulb of, hey, Matt's down. I can't let him down. So I stepped in and took a bigger role in 2 weeks, had to learn the back end of Zorts, had to learn how to enter in the scores and do all that, because before that, I was just a helper. Whatever he needed, I did. Set the fields up, clean up, referee, do whatever. So I had 2 weeks to learn. Matt's in the hospital bed with his chest cut open, typing away on the phone with me, telling me how to do everything. And then I ran the tournament, and I was like, wow, this is exciting. It's almost like an addiction, like the high and the low you get from running a tournament. So I fell in love there. So obviously I've always been involved in it, but never really wanted to take that step of like the responsibility of running it and organizing all of it until I had to. Once I had to, I got that taste of it, and I'm like, wow, this is what I want to do. This is how I can give back. This is how I can and show these kids how to a tournament's supposed to run and how to act and how to become a better young adult into an adult. So basically the background of how I got started, and I'm going to keep pushing to keep getting better and keep doing more.
I absolutely love that story, man. I love how, you came from this. You was like, you know what? It was time for me to step up, and I transitioned to now I'm like one of the biggest tournament directors, in the world. So let me ask you this, like, explaining to like parents or teams or whatever, what does like a typical tournament day look like? So for the ones that maybe not run a tournament, like what like tell the viewers and everything, like what you have to do and some of the stuff you have to go through to get a tournament to be as big as you've had them in the past.
Yeah. So the tournament just doesn't start the day before or the day of. We're prepping months and months in advance, every day, couple hours a day, per tournament. So answering emails, doing Zorts, making sure rosters are good. I'm one to not let coaches, even though there's 18 emails explaining everything, hey, your rosters are due, your rosters are due. If I see someone that doesn't have the roster, I'm texting the coach, I'm emailing the coach, I'm calling the coach, because I don't want to not let a kid play. It's not about the adults for me, it's about the kids. Yeah, coaching's cool, but watching these kids play and having them advance is what I want. So I'm hands-on, all hands on deck, months before, days before. But the actual tournament itself, we're there. If it's a 2-day tournament, we're there Friday, setting up at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., setting up all the fields, getting the tent set up, securing everything, making sure the athletic trainers are still showing up because they're human, so sometimes they bail. But calling them, texting them, doing all of that. It's pretty much a 10-hour day Friday. And then even though we're already almost fully set up, Saturday, we're at the field at 6 a.m. when registration doesn't start till 8. So we're there 2 hours plus early, setting up. It's a long day. Check-in's always an issue. With any tournament I've ever been to, it's everyone has a time they're supposed to come, but then everyone wants to come all at once. So it's just getting through that. A tip to parents, let your kid go with his coach to check in. The more people in the check-in area, the harder it is. So coaches, you trust your coaches to coach your kid. You need to trust your coaches for that 10 minutes to be able to babysit your kid in line. Little Johnny doesn't need his hand held at 14 to get a wristband and check in. Little Johnny knows his name. So it definitely helps if parents just, you trust the coach, let him go with the coach. So that's huge. Once we get through check-in, we got games. You're playing 2 to 3 games on a Saturday. And then, 2-day tournaments, we do a minimum of 3 games. So you'll get 3 games on the Saturday, and then you go to sleep and you wake up Sunday and come to the playoffs where it's single elimination. And then you hopefully get to hold up that ring and hold up a championship and get a championship picture. So that's basically a tournament in a nutshell. There's a lot more in detail to each tournament, but as far as setting up, cleaning up, all of that, we're there. First one's there, last one's to leave. So,
for sure.
Speaking of the tournaments, what are your biggest challenges when running a flag football tournament?
My biggest challenges have been letting go the reins some. I like to micromanage everything because I've learned quickly that you can't trust people. Not everyone as far as like trusting, but like, hey, 8 a.m. show up. Are they going to show up at 8 a.m. or are they going to show up at 8:15 and things like that? So that's really hard for me, just letting go a little bit. Like I am super overboard with making sure all of my staff is in line. I'm texting them 2 days before. I'm texting them a night before. Referees, I send an email 2 weeks before. I send an email a week before, and then I'll send an email sometimes a day before if I didn't hear back from some of them. Just making sure everything is in line, making sure you have the athletic trainers, the referees, my staff, and then making sure the parents and the coaches mainly have all the information they need, so then they can't say, oh, I didn't know, because it's in writing multiple times, multiple emails. So just getting organized on my end has been a big challenge as well. Just having a standard email, then having a more detailed email, then all of that. I just know just from school with my students, the more I tell them in detail and the more they have it in writing, the better. So now they hear me saying it, now they can read it. So now hopefully they learn it. So just organizing, trusting that everything's going to work out on time. I mean, it is a big stress palms are sweaty. You're like, oh, is it going to run okay? And then as soon as you get that first check-in, you're like, all right, I did everything. And you're always going to second guess, like, did I forget something? Did I do this? Did I do that? But just trusting yourself and making sure you have the right people on staff to trust. And I've built that over the last 4 or 5 years. So we've got a good handful of people that we can count on for literally anything.
So being in this tournament space like for so long, what would you say are like personally some of the biggest joys that you kind of get out of running tournaments?
Seeing the kids smile is the big thing for me. Seeing the brother and sisterhood of football and flag football at that. There's too much hate in this world, and just to see people from other teams hanging out, barbecuing or just sitting tents next to each other and just talking and just having the boys and girls take pictures with each other. Like they're trying to kill each other on the field, but then the minute the game is over, for some reason the kids just want to hang out. The parents and the coaches are normally the adults are normally the ones that hang on to, oh, well, we should have done this different. Where the kids are like, yo, we're here playing football. We're having fun. So that's what I like to see the most. That's why I want to run these tournaments, because it just shows the love and it shows everyone together. Doesn't matter what color you are, what gender you are, where you're from, how much money you have, boy, girl, it doesn't matter. We're playing football. We're playing flag football. We're enjoying each other. That's what I like to do. And then on the other side, the growth of the girls game, that's what my passion is. I've been coaching for 15 years of the girls. Like I started coaching girls before I even coached the boys. The girls like to listen more. They don't know everything, so they're willing to learn. I'm coaching at the high school. I teach at the middle school, but I coach at the high school, the high school girls team. We're trying to get it sanctioned in PA. So I like pushing the girls game, but the girls do a really good job of letting everything on the field. And then as soon as you're off, you're seeing them 3-4 different teams from 4 different states, giving each other hugs, taking pictures, doing TikToks, like hanging out, eating together. Like that is what it's all about. And that's what I accomplish, or my accomplishment is the most. I love seeing that. I don't care if I have a 50-team tournament or a 200-team tournament. If I see everyone at the tournament, no matter how big or small it is, loving each other and high-fiving and taking pictures, that's my accomplishment. That's what I love to say.
For teams or players that like to participate, how would you suggest they do that?
As easy as 2 clicks. You click on Flag Football Life and you click on the tournament to register. But basically, if you're part of a league, get some kids in your league or get some friends from school. Get your mom or dad or one of your football coaches like, hey, we want to enter in a tournament. All it takes is 5 players technically. I would definitely get more than that. But you could start with 5 friends. I know a couple of my middle school kids that I teach, we run a league at the middle school I work at, and they're coming up to me every day. Mr. Reimel, how can I enter a tournament? How can I go on one of your tournaments? They follow our Instagram, which we mix with our league and our tournaments. Like, Mr. Reimel, how can I get to this? And I'm like, dude, just got to get 5 players and a coach, and you sign up. So I am helping those kids try to do that. Like, I've reached out to a couple of the parents or the coaches of our league, like, hey, 4 kids want to do it. Can you grab a couple more and just enter in and whatnot? But yeah, just come together with your friends, your tackle teammates, your basketball teammates, baseball. It doesn't matter what sport. Come together and come out and try it. Most of our tournaments, the bigger ones at least, will have an A and a B, sometimes C and D division. So you can go out and compete against teams that are the same quality and level as you. Pool play, you might get your butt spanked because pool play is all intermixed. But then when you get to playoffs, they're like, hey, we went 0-3 in pool play. So did this team. We're at the same caliber. We're both new. So now you get to play against someone of equal ability as you. So just go out and try it. It's as simple as that. It's so simple to say, and it's so cliche, but it really is. You can grab 5 teammates and just go. I did it on the adult circuit when I started playing adult. I was like, I'm watching these videos like, wait, I can do that. Like, I'm that good. Like, I can do it. So I grabbed 4 players that never even played flag football before, and we went out, had fun, and then it grew to traveling the world. So it literally takes a simple, I want to do it. Let me get 5 people and let's do it.
Let's go.
So.
Love that. All right. To kind of piggyback, off of that question and the answer, if someone is looking to start up their own tournament in their local town or whatever, like what advice would you give like a newcomer that's new to the space, maybe new to, flag football? Like what advice could you give someone new looking to start a tournament in their own town?
So definitely statistics help. If you start a tournament in the middle of a town that only has one flag football team, it's going to be kind of hard to start a tournament because to get people to travel in, you have to have teams. We've learned that the hard way, you could say. We've been doing it for a while where sometimes tournaments in certain areas don't work, but if you want to start it, start it. It's not that hard to start it as long as you have the right mindset and you're doing it for the right reasons. Good people will come. So you reach out to local leagues. Like if you're in an area that has a bunch of leagues but no tournaments, you can start with those league teams. You can have a tournament just for those league teams, and then it'll keep growing and growing to the travel team. Beast of the East is a perfect example. So I actually played in the first ever Beast of the East. I was in 17U. My brother started it, Matt. It had 24, 26 teams. I don't believe exactly which one. And I think it had 3 divisions. Now last year we had 200 and I don't even know, 250, something like that.
Crazy.
We were on 6 different turfs. We had 20, what was it? 6 times 4, 24 different fields. Like it was insane. So in 15 years, it grew from 24 to 250. So you have to start somewhere and start small. Work with your community, work with your local leagues. If they don't have tournaments, get those local league teams in, and then you can build up. I would also say work with the other organizations. So like we have our schedule almost set, but we also don't want to run a tournament the same day as NFL flag because it just, why compete against the largest tournament circuit?
For sure.
So we kind of base our schedule once they release their schedule. And then we work with some of the local other organizations that run tournaments in our same area. It's like, hey, well, you're going to run a tournament this week. I'm going to stay away from that week, or kind of something like that.
For sure.
So just know the schedule, reach out. I mean, you guys are really involved in it. You probably know the schedule just as good as almost anyone else. So like people can reach out to you. They can reach out to us. They can reach out to any of the other organizations that travel and be like, hey, well, we want to run this. Do you know any other tournaments that are going to conflict this date? And then just work together. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about spreading flag football. We made it to the Olympics. So
kudos to that.
The more tournaments, the better, as long as we're all working with each other as far as understanding, hey, he's on this date, let me go to this date kind of thing.
Awesome. Now, I do want to get back for a second talking about girls flag football, because just like you, Mike, I'm a coach too at our high school that I work at, and trying to see that become a state-sponsored sport and something like that. But I know you guys have the scholarship that you all have for Flag Football Life. So tell me all about that and what made you want to do that.
So yeah, we give out a scholarship for We Run the World. So it actually started at our first ever We Run the World, which was 3 years ago. We came up with a plan, have an all-girls tournament. We have, I don't know the exact number, but we have pretty much a large following of female teams. So we were like, hey, we want to give them something of their own. Like they deserve it. They're busting their butt. Like they're coming out of the woodworks. Like, let's give them it. So we came up with We Run the World. And then actually the scholarship didn't come into play until July at the summit in Vegas, the first ever NFL flag summit. So I'm sitting there at breakfast and I'm just like, everyone's talking. We're like there. It's like, why aren't we doing something more? Like we're already giving the girls their own tournament, like their own thing. But what else can we do? It's a college sport. It's a high school sport. There's not too many scholarships out there for girls unless it's just from the school. And at that point, I believe it was the first year of college in NAIA. So I just was sitting at the table and I look at my brother, Matt, and I'm like, Matt, I'm going to give out a scholarship.
Wow.
And he just looks at me like, yeah, okay. Like, where are you getting the money from? Like,
Right.
all right, whatever. Like, you do you. Like, whatever. So I got home and I'm thinking, like, what can I do? So the first year, it was a $1,500 scholarship.
Wow.
We got little under $500 in donations from organizations we worked with or referees and whatnot. And then I was like, I'm going to spot the rest. So we'll do $1,500. So I spotted the rest. And we gave out a $1,500 scholarship. So with that scholarship, we came up with a way. So being in school, being a teacher, you understand, like with scholarships, most of the time you have to write an essay. Me personally, I hate writing.
Right.
I don't want to write. Like I'd rather talk. So I was like, you know what? For all the people like me, I'm making them submit a video. What I did is I came up with a committee. So per se, so I had about 3 or 4 people heavily involved in females in flag and all that, from the NFL flag to Phoebe Schechter was one of them, one of the original ones. So what I came up with was 4 questions that they had to answer. Something like, what is it like to be a female in flag? Where do you see the future is? Stuff like that. So what they had to do is they had to submit a video answering those questions. They also had to submit their transcript and have above I think it was a 3.0 or 2.8 or 3.0. I forget exactly the number, but they had to have a good GPA, a passing GPA. So we had about 16 girls apply the first year.
Wow.
And we had one winner. So she got a $1,500 scholarship. I wrote a check right to the school she was committed to play flag football. Sent it right there, and she got $1,500 scholarship, and she was our first ever participant. Year 2, I was like, I'm giving out more. So I gave out a $5,000. I gave out $5,000.
Wow.
I gave out 2 $2,000 ones. One was for a current senior. One was for an underclassman, 9th, 10th, 11th grade.
Nice.
And then 2 runners up was $500 and $500.
Nice.
I donated my whole coaching salary from my first year coaching high school to the scholarship, as well as every single tournament we run. I take a couple $100 from every tournament and put it right to the scholarship, as well as, you guys been to the tournaments, wristbands. If you lose your wristband, it's $10.
Right.
That money goes right to the scholarship.
Nice.
We're not pocketing it. VIP parking, that money goes right to the scholarship. So we're finding ways in our own tournament to build up, because I don't want to count on having to get donors or sponsors to be like, hey, please donate to my scholarship, because most big organizations, they're going to do their own scholarship. So why would they give to mine if they're already doing theirs, kind of thing?
Yeah, that
so
makes
I
sense.
found ways to internally bring it up. So yeah, year 2, we gave out 4 scholarships. Year 3, this past year, and year 2, we actually came up with a committee. I skipped over that. So we had 5 people on the committee. You can go to our website, flagfootballlife.com, click on We Run the World Scholarship Committee. It shows you there. And what I did is, because we're making the girls submit a video, I made our committee members read what they had to do, because now they're on video. So now the girls can see, hey, these leaders and females in flag are doing a video. So now I'm comfortable doing a video, and it makes them feel better. So it's not like we're making them do something that we're not willing to do. So we made a video. And what we did is we ranked them 1 through 5. So if you were the first video, like if you were the video that they liked the most or that meant the most, you got 5 points. And then each committee member voted, and that's how we came up with the winners, the first place in both, and then the runners up. I have nothing to do with the picking, because I don't want to have anything to do with the picking. So that's why we have our committee. So then year 2, we added a couple more committee members. We had Matt, my brother Mike Reimel, because he works with NFL Flag. So he's a committee member. We have Phoebe Schechter, Desiree Abrams, who's an NFL official, and a female official. We had Gianna, who was the first ever scholarship winner. She ended up wanting to give back, so she ended up becoming the committee member. We have Eggs from Eggs Flag Football in Texas, running an all-girls thing. Eggs also played for my women's team, so she's been heavily involved with females in flag. And then we had Angela Pye, who was a all-star track runner at college, full ride scholarship. I think she won a national championship as well running.
Nice.
And she coaches a boys team, but she's a female in flag. So we really wanted everyone who's on that committee really is involved in females in flag and football and for females in general. So they vote, they picked it. And then this past year, we gave out a $3,500 scholarship and then 3 $500 scholarships.
Nice.
We changed it from underclassmen and seniors only to one big thing, and we had one big winner and then 3 smaller winners.
Okay.
So then there's multiple ways to win and multiple chances to win. So
nice.
This year my goal is 10 grand.
Okay.
But it's a doubling the goal. So I'm doing my best to do it.
Okay.
If I have to donate money, I'm going to donate my coaching salary again from this year. So I did it last year as well. It'll probably be an ongoing thing. I don't coach to make money. I coach because I love the sport.
For sure.
And I want to see the females in flag grow. So I'll donate that, and we'll just keep going and keep getting bigger. And our goal is eventually to do a We Run the World series where we have the championship in Philly in August, but then we did a We Run the World in Texas in October. So that was the first expansion of We Run the World. So we're going to do more. So then those ones will have scholarships as well, but it'll be smaller scholarships. And then we'll have an overall bigger scholarship in August.
Nice.
That's our long but short-term goal, because I'm going to make it happen sooner than the goal is. So
for sure. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. So, I mean, you briefly talked about like the Olympics, and we're like excited about the Olympics. Like, what do you feel like the impact of the announcement of the 2028 Olympics inviting flag football into it? What do you think that would do like for the sport of flag football?
It's just going to keep growing. I think that it's an amazing thing, because now we're going to see people who look at flag football as a recreational old man beer league sport. I mean, just like soft pitch softball or whatever it's called. Like, you look at it as a beer league sport where guys and girls are coming in their 30s, playing and having a couple beverages and just we're having fun on a weeknight just to get away from work. But it's not that. It hasn't been that. This is a high competitive athletic sport, and it's been that for 10 plus years, probably even before that. So it's for athletes, it's for the top athletes. So now that the NFL is really pushing it, I mean, we have Diana Flores on a Super Bowl commercial. You have flag football commercials literally on every single NFL game. So it's going to reach an audience of, I'm going to say, older men who are stuck in their tackle ways, because that's what they grew up on, seeing that, well, if the NFL is for it and sponsoring it, maybe my mindset is wrong. Maybe it is a high-end sport and it takes an athlete and all of that. So I do think we're going to start seeing it increase, and especially for the girls, because everyone loves Kobe Bryant, well, hopefully. And after he passed, they did a documentary on a girl dad. So I don't have any kids, so I can't relate as far as a girl dad, but I am a godfather to my niece, so I can relate to a female in the sport. And being a girl dad, it seems awesome. So these dads that don't have boys and they want their kids playing football, but they're like, I don't want to play tackle. Like, she's smaller, or I just don't want her playing tackle in high school, or whatever the reason is. This gives them the outlet to still play football, because at the end of the day, you still have X's and O's. It is the same exact sport as tackle football, just without contact.
Absolutely.
And I hope it gets through to people that it is the sport. You're still running the same routes. You're still catching the same football. You're still squaring up and having the same body posture as tackling, except you're pulling a flag.
Absolutely.
So the real coaches out there are teaching that, and hopefully it starts convincing all of these tackle followers that, hey, I can play flag on the off season, or hey, we're going to promote it. So I do think it's going to be a huge impact this year, but I think even next year is going to even double it. And then as we get closer to the Olympics, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger until the Olympics, until we see it in 2028 in LA, which hopefully all of us flag gurus are at, and we get to go watch one of the games. So that's my goal as well. I already have the ticket monitor up saying when they start selling tickets, I'm going to get an email. So it's just going to keep growing, and as it should. This should be the #1 growing sport in the world.
Yes, we agree.
So in the immediate future, however, let's talk a little bit more about your Flag Football Life series. Will there be any changes in the upcoming 2024 season and series? And I know you have the Nationals coming up soon. So tell us about that.
Almost done my 2024 schedule. But like I said, it's hard because I can do all of it and release it. But then what if NFL Flag does a tournament on a date I have and all that? So we have it pretty much set. Our main tournaments, all of our 2-day tournaments are already set in stone. They're not moving. They've been the same for the last 5 years. They're not moving. They're there. We are going to add a couple more tournaments. We're going to try to get up in the Northeast a little bit more, 1 or 2 tournaments just. And then Florida, we're going to try to explore. We already run 2 tournaments there, 3 including nationals. So we may explore running a couple more down there. And then westward expansion would be good, whether it's us or we partner with someone to expand it west. And then international. Our big goal is international on the female side. So we already have done 2 clinics international. Phoebe Schechter's she ran We Run the World clinics. So our goal is to have a We Run the World, like I said, a We Run the World series, We Run the World tour. That's part of the Flag Football Life tour or series, but it's also its own thing with just girls, and we plan to go international and just keep expanding it. So we're definitely gonna expand, but we're really going to focus on making our events even better. And we're putting a lot of time and effort into coordinating that and working with the facilities and the tourism groups in that area to try to enhance not only the tournament experience, but after the tournament, before the tournament, at night, all of those kind of experiences. So we are going to expand a little bit, but mainly enhance our tournament experience for all of our tournaments already.
Love that. All right, Mike, we're going to put you on the spot real quick. So we want your unbiased opinion. Flag Football Life, NFL Flag, we don't care whatever structure it is. We want a flag football tournament. So we want you to give us your top 5 like must go to tournaments. Like, again, we don't care if it's an NFL flag tournament, we don't care if it's Flag Football Life, we don't care if it's, AFFF, we don't care what it is, but we want your unbiased opinion. What do you think, is the top 5 tournaments that you must go to? So if you're a travel team, you got to go to these 5 tournaments.
In order or just
no?
5?
It's just up to you. However you want to do it. It's completely up to you.
So Beast of the East and We Run the World. Definitely. Okay. You could put them 1-2.
Okay.
We can put that in order. 1-2. If you're a girls team, We Run the World's number 1, then Beast is number 2. If you're a boys team, obviously Beast, because you can't go to We Run the World. So you got those 2. You have NFL Flag Nationals. You have our Nationals. So that's 4.
You need one more.
One more.
Give us one more.
So I would say the Texas Stadium tournaments.
Okay.
That Flag Football X runs. I went to the one in October, which was the We Run the World, but then they also had the boys division separate. That was really cool to get a tour of the stadium, play on the field, but then Saturday you actually we played at the University of Arlington, and then Sunday was at the stadium.
Nice.
So that was a big 100+ team tournament. So yeah, I would say those 5, mainly because those are the rules that we know and we do.
For sure.
I don't know a lot of the other rules. I'm sure there's sevens tournaments out there, especially in Florida for girls, that are really good. AFL or AFFL, they have their own set of rules. So I'm sure their tournaments are good, but I just don't know the rules. So unbiased opinion, I can't recommend a tournament that I don't know the rules.
For sure.
So,
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And I would say those 5 just because we all use NFL Flag rules.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's where we at. NFL Flag. Yep. So we not going, like, NFL Flag remains supreme over this way. So, yeah. We're with
so
you,
I know USA Football is going to start doing more international rules, which is IFAF rules. It's 5-on-5 non-contact. They allow 4 downs and 4 downs. And then their penalty system is weird. Like, NFL Flag is straightforward. Lose a down, gain a down, or automatic first down. IFAF is like 15 yards, no loss of down or something. It's like the penalty enforcement's a little weird.
Okay.
They do allow pitches and double passes behind the line of scrimmage only, which is enticing. Flag Football Life might take a jump on a rule modification. We will see in the upcoming future. But the international rules are cool, but I just don't think anyone knows them or enough people know them yet in the U.S. But I do think that as we get close to the Olympics, we're going to have to start shading more towards their rules. And I do think NFL flag will make some changes as well. But NFL flag is really strategic with their changes. We follow the rule book to the T, so I know their changes every year. As soon as it happens, I'm changing our rule book. So I do feel like NFL flag will start veering a little bit more towards the international rules, because at the end of the day, we're preparing these kids to get to the Olympics. Now, it'll only be 10 or 12 kids. They're kids now, but they will be adults then. But still, if we have 10,000 kids and 5 of our kids that we've been mentoring and they've been coming to our tournaments make the Olympic team, that's a success. We did our job. So I do think the rules will start veering more towards that to prepare the young kids and the young adults to get to the Olympics. But NFL flag is a good in-between rule set, and I feel like it translates to any form of football, whether it's 7-on-7, girls 7-on-7 flag, boys 7-on-7 passing league, tackle football, and then IFAF rules. I feel like NFL flag is a good ground and base to have knowledge of all the other rules. So that's why we stick with NFL flag, and they do a good job with their tournament or with their tournament rules.
All right. Well, Mike, before we wrap up, how can listeners stay updated on the flag football tournament series and just get in touch with you and everything like that?
Yes. So my number is all over every single flyer. Call or text. That's the FFL phone. So I have it on me at almost all times, whether it's me or my intern. One of us has it. So it's all over. They're all over every flyer. It's on the website. So flagfootballlife.com. The best way, though, is Instagram. So we update our website, but it's not as frequently as Instagram. Instagram and Facebook are the 2 number 1 ways to follow our tournaments. We constantly make posts. Hey, we have X amount of spots left. Hey, this tournament opens in a week. You get to see cool videos and all of that as well. So Flag Football Life on Instagram and Facebook, and then flagfootballlife.com. Best way to stay in touch. Like I said, my phone line's always open. So whether you text or you call, leave a voicemail, because if you call and don't leave a voicemail, I'm not calling you back. So if you're going to call, leave a voicemail, or at least just send a text. Hey, this is so-and-so. Give me a call when you're free. We'll make sure we get back to you. Yeah.
Awesome. Mike, listen, we appreciate it. Thank you for being on. Like, one last thing, is there anything else that you feel like, you want people to know about you, about Flag Football Life series, or anything like that? Or
I hate the spotlight, so no, nothing about me. Okay. But Flag Football Life will do whatever it can to do it the right way. I've played in the adult scene. Some of the stuff that goes on there, I don't like. So that's why we're not doing that in our tournaments, and we're training the next set or the next generation of young adults to then, when they get to the adult level, it becomes more of a serious, non-recreational look. And they know what to expect from tournaments and what to get there. So we're going to do our job preparing them for what they do deserve once they become adults and in the adult circuit. And then just no matter who you're playing for or what tournament or whatnot, go play. Flag football is the best sport in the world. I'm biased, but it is. I will pick flag football over any other sport to watch. So go play. No matter, again, whoever it is, wherever it is, go play. I don't care if it's with us. Obviously, we want you with us, but you want to go play elsewhere and you want to go play overseas and whatever, it's all over the world. Go play. Take a trip. Enjoy yourself, and you will if you're playing flag. There's no way to not enjoy yourself.
Awesome. At least for me personally, Mike, we really appreciate, again, what you do for the sport. Because, again, without you, we would only have, like, NFL flag tournaments. So we, like, just kudos to you, kudos to, like, your team. Thank you for having the space for us to go to tournaments and do something outside of what we do, in the city. So I guess I'll turn it over to Coop, and he can end this up and wrap it up. So.
Well, once again, Mike, it's great having you on. Can't wait for the next episode for next month. But check us out, NFL Flag Talk, the best podcast around. See y'all later. Take care.
All right, man. Mike, man, appreciate it, brother, man. This was cool, man.
My shorty bad like Shakira. I told her look in the mirror.